ball game.
What's good, guys? Welcome back to Shonen Hoops. It is your boy Omar, and of course, with my co-host as always. How we doing, Andy? How we
Yo,
feeling?
what's good? What's good? You know how it is. We here. We're here to do the quarter of the season
Yep.
of the NBA.
As well, first of all, so I say happy Thanksgiving for those who celebrate. Hope you guys had a great time with your family. But yes, we are doing the quarterly review for the NBA. Surprising, it's already been 25% of the way there. You know, some things have been surprising, disappointing, and sometimes in the middle. So I have a few things that have been intriguing so far to start the year. We're just gonna go through it. It's probably gonna be a little bit of a longer one, but let's just get right into it. So, I want to end off on a good note. So I just want to go through a couple things that have been like disappointing, I guess you could say, to start. I think, I have to get to Philadelphia first. I said it in the middle of summer, Paul George was gonna make a mistake going to Philadelphia. That you never knew with how healthy they were gonna be. And guess what? They're all hurt again. And I just have. Do you have any hope for Philly? I guess because I'm out. I don't.
I think, well, as it is right now, they're kind of just at a helpless point of everybody getting injured at some point, or still we've yet to see how a full team of Philly looks with a Maxey, George, and Embiid playing like all full minutes. I still think they'll make it if they can recover, because we still are early on. If they can recover and figure something out, then I think they should be good for. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be at least playing. There's no way they don't make the play, like any bit of the postseason. But yeah.
But you say that, but and then it's like you're not getting him beat 100%. He's not that. He's not playing it back to back. Same thing with Paul George. It's not like Paul George is healthy all of a sudden. He's not. He's gonna miss a believe a couple more games here before he comes back. Maxey, I guess, is finally healthy. McCain's a bright spot, but other than that, Martin hasn't been great this year. I don't have Kelly Oubre's off the. I guess KJ Martin has also been a bright spot, but I don't have any like hope for this team because out in the Eastern Conference, the East is starting to shake form. You know, you have Cleveland, Boston, Orlando, New York, the top 4 seeds. Miami's getting it their everything together. Same thing, Milwaukee. Atlanta looks good, and it's like what? Your Indiana is still struggling, and Philadelphia is still struggling. So to Detroit, like I don't see a pathway forward for them except what? You're okay with being in the play-in tournament again to get bounced in the first round? I promise you, Philadelphia's in the first round. They're not beating Boston. They're not beating Orlando. They're not beating New York. They're not beating Cleveland. So what?
I mean, yeah, but you're also still basing that off of them being like, if they're the whole point of what I'm assuming the Philadelphia organization is thinking is we'll sacrifice the first half so that way we can actually finally be good in the second half. So that's why I can't. And also, I can't shake off Joel Embiid. No matter if he's healthy or he's not, the second half it's going to be a completely different Joel Embiid. He's going to be playing because the whole thing is that he sacrifices his body in the first half, which is why he can never make it to the damn postseason. He's always injured. Something always happens. So they're sacrificing that first half, being like, all right, let us carry the weight, and then you take off when we need you to take off. It's the same way as you know, maybe people who have seen shorts or reels with freaking Shaq and Kobe, where it's like, all right, look, let the big man take care of the first 3, you get the 4th. Like, they're doing the exact same thing, but they're just doing it in a season instead of just the playoffs. That's their plan. It might not pan out that way if they let so many games slip away. But as you're saying, Tyrese Maxey, he's doing well. Jared McCain has been doing like better than everybody thought he was going to be. I think as long as they can stay afloat within playing range, I can see them doing fine. That's where I see Philadelphia as of right now. We still got 60 more games to go.
But what's staying afloat? Because they're 3-14. It's not like they're like 8-9, 7-10, like right there. They are already 4 games out of 10. And Detroit's not going to go out and tank. That's what I'm saying. Outside of Brooklyn, everyone else in the top 10, I don't see them going to go tank.
We say that, but from what I've been hearing and what you've been telling me, it's like Brooklyn, they don't want to win. They want to tank. So we put
Exactly.
Brooklyn down. Who's gonna take it? Like we're, like I said, we're only 20 games in. Maybe some teams have like 18. They're only down 6 games from being in the play-ins. They just have to. They need to keep it close enough where the second they want to put the foot on the gas, they will be fine. Whether that be in 10th or in 9th, wherever it may be. Sure, will they get booted out in the first round against whoever the top seed is? Damn right. But I don't know. I can never say until it's to the point where it's like, let's say they're just 3-25 or 3-30, then obviously they're not going to be anywhere near it. But they're not going to tank that hard. The organization's trying to play something cool and trying to be like, oh, we got this, stay afloat. No matter what, I do not see the Philadelphia 76ers not making the play-ins. Whether they make it past the first round, that's completely different, and that will be discussed when we get to see more of an actual Philadelphia team, which is the team that they created in offseason. I want to actually see play, not this. Oh, we sacrificed everything, or we gave up a lot, and nobody's playing. We're basically watching the bench and some rookies play, and Tyrese Maxey, who's like a hell of a player, who's doing his best, but as we saw earlier in the season, he did get injured because he's trying to keep this team afloat. So they're trying to basically have the means justify the ends, or the ends justify the means. But
okay, so all right, so I'm just going to, before we move on from Philadelphia, I'm going to put you through a quick exercise.
Okay.
I'm going to give you Philadelphia's next 10 games. So before we do that, they are 3-14, have lost 2 in a row, and they are 4 games behind Detroit for 10th.
Okay.
They play Detroit tonight.
All right.
Who do you got?
I could no, I got Philly.
Okay. Charlotte.
They could beat Charlotte.
Orlando.
They'll lose against Orlando both times.
Both times.
Yeah.
Chicago.
I'll give that one to Chicago.
Charlotte.
Yeah. Charlotte. Let's see. Well, that time in December, Paul George. I'll give it to 76ers. They should have Paul George back.
Cleveland.
They lose to Cleveland. And then
San
Spurs.
Antonio.
Damn. I think I'd give it to the Spurs though.
And then Boston.
And then they lose to Boston. So they won 3 games out of the 10.
So 3-7.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Then 30 games in, but at some point, Embiid comes back in some of these games. I was considering this with only like Maxey right now.
Okay, but it's not like Embiid's healthy. That's the main issue. That yes, I would agree with you if we knew Embiid's good. He's in better shape, but he's not. He's not in shape. He's not healthy. You get him tired by the second half by having a fast-paced offense, and it's wraps. I hope I'm wrong, because I would like to, this team would be fun and competitive to see in the playoffs if they're whole, but I just have no faith in them to be whole come playoff time.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's valid. I think they're just waiting the water. Their goal is to just not let it slip away too far. Whether that happens or doesn't is to be seen. So okay, so then for you, as of right now, 25% in, where do you see Philadelphia landing at the end? We'll see how it changes as we do our little checkpoints.
Okay, so I believe they will end up at the end of the year. They will be better than Toronto,
okay,
Charlotte, Washington, and Brooklyn.
So you still have them like 11th out of the play-ins.
Yes, I still think Indiana, Detroit, Atlanta will still be ahead of them in the standings.
Indiana, Detroit, and Indiana. What about the 4th team?
Washington, Toronto, Charlotte, and maybe Brooklyn.
Okay, if they don't decide to just
I expect Brooklyn to completely trade everyone in a fire sale. But yeah,
All right, okay.
Okay.
All right. So what's the next team on your hit list, Omar,
Um,
or
I
player?
just yes, I want to give my flowers real quick to the Milwaukee Bucks that have, on the other hand, gotten their shit together essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
Giannis has been on a roll. Their younger guys are starting to play extremely well. Lillard is playing well. Their schedule has been easy, so we'll see how they move forward. But I just want to give my quick flowers to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay, okay. Yeah. And I'm glad. Yeah,
Um,
you're right. I'm glad to see that the rumors were just rumors as always. Like people saying Dame and Giannis don't work. They ain't gonna be it. They have turned it around. So hopefully they can
I
keep the momentum going. But we'll see.
yeah, when they play the harder schedule in the second half of the year, we'll see. So, and then I want to ask you a question in general terms. How long do you give guys to start a year before you're like, okay, they're not having a good year? Like, how many games do you give them?
I see. We're talking about McCall Bridges.
We're looking at Bridges. We're looking at guys like Desmond Bain, Keegan Murray, who has not had a good year to start off in Sacramento. There are a couple players across the league that have not been playing well. KCP was one of them as well in Orlando, but in the last and recent games, since the baby was born, homeboy can't miss. But
Okay. So I mean, let's be real here. If your player's not playing well, so like I've seen situations with McCall Bridges right now, he's literally being benched, even though they traded a lot of their future for him. It
yeah, they traded your younger cousin Sam for him,
yeah.
actually.
So it's honestly just I think it's fair. I think it's fair to bench your players if they're not doing well, because it motivates them to try to get out of that slump to work on their game. But also, you can't, if they're obviously playing bad and somebody is doing better than what he should be doing, then they should be starting over him. The whole point of the end of the game is to get to the postseason, to get to the finals. If the player is not doing what he should be doing, then bench him for a bit. Like let him get back into the headspace. You players obviously they have their own well beings that they have to take care of, and if their heart's not in the game or if their head's not in the game or something, then bench them. Put the person that deserves to be a starter. Obviously, we're still super early on, so maybe they'll get their rhythm back. Who knows? But until they've proven it, I think they need to take a step back. Until they start playing as the all star as they should be, then I think the bench is what kind of what they deserve. And until they get back to that, what people expect from him.
Yeah, I think the strategy of starting your best group that you believe in, and then you close out again with the hot hand. I always believe that's the right strategy to go with. But I think for especially for now, a lot of my like warning signals are up. Like my yellow flags are up, not red flags yet. But my yellow flags are definitely paying attention to some of these guys and give them another 10, 15 games. If midpoint, these guys are still struggling because they're all needed. There's a Sacramento struggling. They're worse than we thought they were going to be.
Yep.
We were all waiting for Keegan Murray to take that next step, but he's regressed. He's shooting 28% from three. That is diabolical for a 40% shooter.
Yeah.
Will hopefully soon. Hopefully, when Malik Monk comes back for them, the floor would be spaced out. Keegan can like not press, because I'm wondering how like these teams are facing injuries. Are these guys are like pressing and putting more pressure on themselves than they should be, and it's knocking on their game to where more they're letting the game come to them and it's flowing better.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like you say, you kind of have to pick and choose. You should always start. I agree 100% with your best. And if you know if that player that's been struggling starts getting the hot hand, then you put him in. But you need in starting, you need consistency. If the person that you hope to be good is not being consistently good, then leave him as someone that comes in when the bench is out. You know, let him cook the bench. I've never understood sometimes why there's some teams that have so much potential and good players. Just have one of them take care of the second team. You know, let him put points in when everybody's resting. It'll get him into that rhythm of getting back to where they were, where they should be. But
That I'll just say that even when players aren't playing their best, but you know how good they can be, they still have that gravity and allows that starting unit to get off to good. Because you're not going to leave, for example, Klay Thompson wide open because the last like stretch of games he's been bad. He's still a 40% career 3-point shooter, so you're never just going to leave him open.
Yeah,
You
no,
still have to have that respect for that player.
yeah, exactly. But now talking about like kind of like disappointing teams. Again, only 20 games in. Some are it's like between 18 to 20. I'm severely disappointed in the Timberwolves. I didn't realize that they have just been struggling. I didn't realize they were in like a 4-game losing streak. They finally won yesterday against the Clippers off of a disgusting final 45 seconds from the Clippers, which they didn't. I guess they just didn't want to play. They. So I don't know what it is, bro. But
yeah, that was nasty.
It was absurd. But that's not here or there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just that Julius Randle isn't fitting. Maybe they just gotta give it more time. But I'll be honest. Everybody and their mother was expecting Anthony Edwards to come out here and be the best goddamn shooting guard that we've seen in a long while, and he has just not. For me, he hasn't hit that level of like he's the best. He's the best shooting guard right now.
Well, we said it. We said when the trade happened at New York, we thought in theory New York got better and Minnesota got worse.
Yeah,
the fit for Minnesota was disgusting. We said it.
Yeah.
And it's the fact that you have, look, you had Karl Anthony Towns as a spacer, as someone that could play inside and out, who doesn't mind shooting threes. Anthony Edwards putting pressure on the paint, but now you're forcing Anthony Edwards to be that floor spacer. So you're taking away his paint touches and rim pressure to give Julius Randle the space. And then on top of that, yes, Karl Anthony Towns isn't the greatest defender, but if you're him and Gobert, it works. And then if you're having Karl Anthony Towns be the anchor defense against second units when you stagger him and Gobert throughout the game, his defense looks better because he's not playing starting caliber power forward in the center. He's guarding the backup bigs. Yeah. So it works there too. But then Minnesota, again, cheap ass owner, they don't care about winning. You're cool with being a good second round exit team? Cool. This is what you got. And unfortunately, in this Western Conference, that's good. That's not good enough either.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's been a very disappointing. And you're right. We did say they were going to be that, but I just did not believe they were going to fall this far down. Where they're only, I believe, I'll tell you right now, they're only I think 1 game. No, I'm lying. They're out of they're 1 game behind San Antonio, which is 10th. Minnesota's at 9. Yeah, they're competing for a play-in spot, and they're not even in the play-in spot yet. It's them and Sacramento have been disgusting. Another, which I don't know if we should say it's a disappointment or if it's just terrible, as we stated before, just a very cursed season for the New Orleans Pelicans. What's your opinion? Should we be disappointed as a fan, or just it's like it's injuries, we can't do much about it?
Outside of Zion Williamson, it's just unfortunate injuries. It's just quite unfortunate. You can't. DeJounte Murray hurts his hand in training camp. That's a freak injury.
Yeah.
Trey Murphy hurt again. Happens. You look across the roster. Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado. All these injuries. Man. There's always a team every year that gets derailed by injuries. And this year it's just New Orleans. But with Zion, it's like clockwork. You outside of him, it's like, well, damn, what are you gonna do? And I don't hope for this for Zion. I wish Zion would be on the floor. He's amazing when he's on the court, but he just can't stay on the court. And I wouldn't be surprised if you want to try to move on for him because his contract's not guaranteed. He's not going to meet the game clause to keep his deal if New Orleans chooses to waive him. I don't know if they're going to take that route because I don't think there's a team, unless a team like Charlotte that wants to take a swing on him to get better. But I no longer believe that he can be the best player on a championship team.
Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, from what we're seeing year by year by year, it's like you said, it's cycle.
It's always something.
Yeah. Okay. But you're right. So now, talking about that really quick. So now does this mean that they respect Brandon Ingram enough and say we're not trading him no more? Because of obviously what the freak accidents and everything, it's like like he's kind of like, do you think there's gonna pay enough of respects to him? Be like, all right, you held us down. Like obviously we're fucking the last seeded team, but we're at least getting some wins every freak second. Like where do you think they go now with him?
New Orleans to start the year, it was an unfortunate spot because you felt like they were just one move away, which was
Yeah.
that center position to figure that out, and whether or not Brandon Ingram was gonna just be a surplus at their wing spot, or if you were gonna use him to move from that center. I think he reached the point, especially with Zion's injury history. I don't think you can afford to move Brandon Ingram any longer because you can't count on Zion. Maybe you move Ingram to the 4 and it's Trey Murphy at the 3 or Herb Jones at the 3, and now you have that wing spot solidified with CJ and DeJounte in the backcourt. But now you leave a bigger hole at center because now you don't know how to fill it. It's just so unfortunate for this Pelicans team because you never got it. They're about to become very expensive,
Yeah.
and you never had the chance to see how this team fits together. You never had that opportunity.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's like you said. There's always the one team that's just riddled with injuries. But okay, you know what though? I'm gonna call that first, because I mean I guess completely honest, because I was gonna say the Toronto Raptors have gone through the same thing. Maybe not as long of the injuries, but they've gone through injuries. They damn near almost had everybody gone, and everybody's starting to finally come back. But they're still like, they're not last. And obviously, is it just because the East is just way worse? But it's interesting. We can't fault them for injuries, or like it's just things happen. But I hope that Zion can be healthy and he can turn it around, and we can see some type of stuff from them. But it's really hard because when you have such a slow start like they're having in the West does not forgive at all. So yeah, I think that'll be it for the New Orleans Pelicans. Can we talk about how Chris Paul brought the San Antonio Spurs their 10th win in only 19 games compared to last season, which took him 43.
I mean, we said it. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
you. I'm gonna be fair here. You said the Spurs are gonna be a lot better than I thought they were gonna be, but the Spurs are right around where I thought they were gonna be. They're better. Yeah. It's just unfortunate some other teams are just being a lot more disappointing. Yeah. So, but they look a lot better. They look more cohesive. Devin Vassell just came back, so hopefully that adds to their offensive punch. Mm-hmm. I need Victor Wembanyama to fill out his body so he can finally be that damn center. Got me all types of twisted. Him shooting 13 threes. You got me all types of twisted.
Hey, bro. Sometimes he be hitting them though.
That's fine. Yeah. It's the same thing with Anthony Edwards. You have to be able to put rim pressure at the same time.
Yeah, facts. Okay, you know what, Omar? Sorry, I want us to say one real quick thing. Houston Rockets, where the damn hell did y'all come from? How the hell are y'all second overall right now, bro?
Listen, because I was gonna save them for later because I was gonna play one more game with you, but we can talk about Houston now.
Okay.
Listen, the Houston Rockets, where they're Jalen Green took a jump in efficiency, like he looks a lot better. Fred VanVleet, Şengün is him at the center spot. Jabari Smith I feel like is no longer, like he let go of that, like comparing himself to Chet and Paolo and more filling out his role, and I feel like he's been looking a lot better. But however, those two defensive monsters they have coming off the bench in Tari Eason and Amen Thompson, diabolical. There's a reason the Houston Rockets are a top 3 defensive team in the NBA. I think right now they're ranked second.
Wow.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Insane. Like defensively they switch, they block shots in the passing lanes, and then they're not complete negatives offensively. They're shooting the ball well. They're getting to the rim. It's beautiful. The Houston Rockets have been a lot of fun to watch. And hey, they have arrived. They have arrived.
They damn sure have. All right. Who's another player or team you wanna?
Okay. So, because we do have our own favorite teams.
Yeah.
We're gonna give our quick 2 cents on each of our teams, and then I'm gonna play one more game with you, and I'll wrap it up. Sound good?
Fair. Sounds great.
So right quick, we're gonna play this song, okay? Yeah. All right, we're gonna play this damn song because we are third in the Eastern Conference. We are 14-7. We run this. We're winning the NBA Cup with a 60-point differential without Paulo Banchero. Franz Wagner leading the way. Wendell just came back. about the Orlando Magic.
All right, let me give my
I need my
flowers.
apology. I
I
need my
need to
apology.
apologize. Mister Mister Franz. I didn't know you were a baller like that. I had my doubts. I had my doubts in the beginning in the free agency. I did say if you took that jump, then I knew the Orlando Magic were going to be great. You've proven yourself, my man. You have been going insane.
Yeah.
So I'll take the L here. Orlando Magic, I thought you were just following some nobodies, but clearly you are a team. Thank God you went through that poverty to make it to the big leagues now, right, Omar?
Man, I suffered a long time for this moment. And it's, I never want to say that it's a good thing whenever guys get hurt.
Yeah.
But Franz Wagner, I beg Franz, when Paulo does return, he is no longer taking the back seat, but he takes the passenger seat next to the team.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to see a Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown coexistency-esque from these two guys. This will allow Jalen Suggs to get back to what he was to start the year and have like his shooting more balanced. I feel he's another guy that's been pressing when Paulo first got injured. KCP is getting his shooting form back in rhythm. Wendell Carter is back. He played well in his 2 games since returning. Tristan Da Silva is gaining experience. Maybe he's part of the bench rotation when everyone's healthy. Anthony Black, more responsibility of handling the ball, is looking really good right now. Jonathan Isaac, getting back into form. Magic are going to the Eastern Conference.
Hey, pay some respect to Goga. What's up?
You know what? Listen, Goga. Goga has been nothing short than amazing.
All right, we love Goga.
We love Goga over here. Listen, the reason I was gonna finish with Goga, but that's fine. We'll talk about Goga right now. Listen. I love Jamal Mosley. I love what he do. I do not envy the decision he's gonna have to make. The Magic have 3 centers that I don't know. I don't know the rotation he's gonna run when everyone's healthy, because you can't run 12. You can't do it. Whether it's Tristan Da Silva that gets the rope, Chet Howard, Cole Anthony, Mo Wagner, Goga, I don't know who doesn't play when everyone's back.
Okay. I mean, I will say though, we do have a team on the West that's doing like a high number of rotation. No, with the Golden State,
that's been getting cut.
Oh, okay. But, yeah, I didn't know that.
And I think you go 10 max, because okay. I believe that every player needs time and rotations to stay in rhythm. And I don't know how he does it. I'm very curious to see it, because Goga I'm just happy I'm not Jamal Mosley right now. That's all I'm saying.
I will say though, is there any concern that when Paulo comes back, because I know I don't know. I think you've been more on top of it. Where like I don't know if Paulo's coming back at the end of the year or if he might not play at all. But like if he does come back, do you think there's gonna be some type of mess up to like try to fit him back into the rhythm that they're in currently, or you think like are there any worries there for you?
Okay, so for me, it's Paulo Banchero is going to get reevaluated in about 1 to 2 weeks coming up shortly. And if the injury is healing the way it's supposed to be healing, he'll start to ramp up and he'll come back.
Okay.
And it's late December, January, maybe around that time. However, if the injury is not healing, he will then opt to surgery and he'll miss the rest of the year.
Oh, okay.
Crossing my fingers, of course, he comes back.
Yeah. That's prayers out.
A team is never worse off when you get back a 25 to 30 points per game.
Bro, my man's he was on some next level stuff, bro.
The Magic's offense still has, because again, their schedule has been pretty easy as of late as well. But the Magic's offense still has instances once you double Franz, sometimes it looks a lot clogged up, and because Jalen tries to start to force, and then you turn the ball over, you take wild shots, and it's just been the Magic are also an elite defensive team alongside Houston and Oklahoma City, and that's also been winning you games. So and then you look to your side, you add Paulo Banchero. If you want to choose to double Paulo Banchero, I'm very comfortable with Franz Wagner playing 4-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you that. If you choose to double Franz, I'm very comfortable playing 4-on-3 with Paulo.
Okay.
The Magic have two elite ball shot creators and playmakers in Paulo and Franz that I'm now finally seeing. If they can coincide, the Magic will have at least an average offense, and if hopefully their shooters can shoot, the Magic will be good enough offensively with their elite defense to compete with the Cavs, with the Celtics, with whoever.
Okay. All right. I'm a believer at this point, and I hope to continue believing in that they don't break people's hearts. So, what's next on the hit list that we have, man?
Talk to me about the 305.
Mr. 305. So, honestly, I was honestly very skeptical at the beginning because Bam, I don't know what's up with him, bro. I thought everybody was expecting him to do some type of leap, some type of shooting. You know, like in the summer, they're talking about, oh, he's shooting threes. That means he should be shooting more often. If he starts working on his shooting, then he'll be an actual top 5 center. But nope, for some reason, he's struggling. So, and it's so sad to see. Props to him, though. Last game, he got a triple-double. We were already knocked out of the cup, though, so the game didn't really matter. But we took the dub for our standings. So Bam, for me, he's been a big disappointment. He's letting a lot of people down with the way he's been playing. Where it's just like, I don't know if he's not. If he's, it's obviously he's not shooting more because when Tyler Hero in the beginning of the season was out there shooting, he was on fire. He's kind of cooled down a little bit. Not saying he's not doing as great, but he's kind of like cooled down a bit. Jimmy Butler, though, on the other hand, completely has done a 180. Where he was just, like we always stated, he clearly doesn't care about the season. And the first, I want to say like 15 games, 16 games, it was literally the same thing of like, all right, Jimmy does not care about the season. And we're going to go through the same heartache and the same issues that we always have. That it's just, now we have to do play-ins. Now we have to go suffer. But these last 2 games, I'll give him his props because he has been going a bit crazy with it. I think last game he had 29 points. He's been these last couple of games have been kind of crazy. He's had, let's see, 26 points. That's all I want from him. All I want from him is to show that the energy that he brings during playoffs, during postseason, he can bring it during the season. Show people that we are not to be played with. That we gotta be dogs. That everybody talks about. Oh, 305. They're always dogs. They're out there. We've lost so much every damn season. In the mid-season, in free agency, we can't keep players, and we just get objectively worse. But as we're seeing, when they actually try, and they played against kind of like the last 2 games was Toronto, Charlotte. It was a close game against Milwaukee, only down by 3. Beating Dallas, beating Philly. Well, they're terrible, but we've won games against teams that are average. We need to figure out that step, or I'll be honest, I don't think as of right now they're going to be able to beat the top 4, top 5 teams because they don't have that guy that can be there. Unless Bam starts doing what he should have been doing from the get-go, which is like shooting more, being more confident in his mid-range and his jump, and things that he's good at, it's not working for me. I'm glad to see that they're not doing terrible though. Like they're not really that off. I think that he have played the least games though out of every other team, but we're 5th overall. We're all basically tied with Milwaukee. We only have 1.5 of a game above them. But from 1 to 4, I don't see us catching up or beating them because it's Cleveland, Boston, Magic, and the Knicks. And it's just gonna get more interesting. But I hope Jimmy still brings that energy. Bam needs to find something that he needs to be more of a scorer. And obviously that might mean Tyler Hero takes a little bit less shots or that Jimmy starts not shooting, but Bam can't just be doing less than 20. He's averaging, I think, like something that just it's not worth it. It's not for me what is going to be the winning formula for us. But we'll see, because like yeah, he averages 15 points basically, 15.5, and that's not going to get stuff done when we don't have all stars like a Boston has Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, like the Magic when they have Paolo Franz, the Knicks they have at this point Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. We do not have level all stars, so we need to have every single person on the team elevate themselves to at least play decent enough so we can still compete. But that's my 20 my quarter view of where the Miami Heat are at right now. And I expect them that if they continue to play how they're playing, I don't think they're going to beat any of the harder teams, and they're probably just going to head straight to play-ins. I hope they don't, but that's what it's looking like for me right now.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Miami have been mediocre. I think the fall of a couple of teams out east in the Philadelphia 76ers and the Indiana Pacers have really given room for Miami's to be in the middle of the pack east instead of like towards the 7th, 8th, where I believe they were going to be. But yeah, Tyler Hero has been magnificent to start the year. All credit to Hero. He's taken and made big shots, shooting the ball extremely well. I think Jimmy Butler, as of late, has really turned it around, being aggressive offensively, being there defensively. He needs to hopefully just be consistent. I don't expect 30 a game from him, of course, but I need a level of consistency to what to expect out of Jimmy Butler. I think Bam, I wish he was more aggressive offensively, but he's been great defensively still. Still being able to play out of the post, create a little bit of offense for Miami. But yeah, I don't know where Miami goes. They're not horrible. They're not great. They're a decent team, and I don't know where they move from here. So now to wrap this up, I'm gonna give you a phrase, and I'm gonna give you it's a word, a fork in the road, where they move from here for a couple of these teams.
Okay,
and then you tell me where you think they go.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat sell and they trade Jimmy Butler, or B, they stick with this core and they trade for a piece to help them contend.
I'm leaning toward more B. I think B. I don't think they trade Jimmy Butler yet. Until he stops playing, basically, until he starts being someone that's just not. The Heat like to hold people during the season. The issue is after their contract wraps up. So for some reason it doesn't compute that they can pay for people to come back after their contract's up. But I'm gonna go B.
Okay, so just remember, Jimmy Butler is a free agent at the end of this year, or at least he can be a free agent at the end of the year.
Yep, that's why I said it.
I don't know who. I'm still waiting. Of course, there's still time, so we'll see if there becomes that all-in piece that becomes disgruntled across the association. We'll see what happens. All right, the next team, Indiana. Does Indiana continue to struggle and be in the play-in tournament, or does Tyrese Halliburton finally reach back to his elite level play and the Pacers climb the Eastern Conference?
Nah, I'm gonna go A. I've seen the photo. That man, ever since he posted that photo, has not been anywhere near his MVP month that he had last year, and I don't see it happening. So I'm gonna have to go A. I think they're gonna still struggle. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna have to be the other people that bring further, like Miles Turner. I think he needs to kind of step up a little bit. Being obviously he's like the third option over there. Hey, I'm not saying he's bad, but I think he's gonna have to be better, because I don't think Tyrese is ever gonna be back up to the point where he was average, where he was doubles every night, almost 20-20s. It's not happening. Not for me.
That's asking quite a lot out of Miles Turner, because I think Turner and Mathurin, Nembhard, not Mathurin, but yes. Pascal Siakam has been amazing to start the year. The Obi Toppin has been solid. Tyrese Halliburton just has, and I don't want to say the NBA sat there and figured him out. But Tyrese Halliburton just hasn't been all that great. He just doesn't look like he's willing to attack the rim.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a Ben Simmons ass, but Howard just doesn't like hesitates to look at the rim when he gets inside. And in order for, my belief is in order to be a great passer, you have to be a willing scorer in order to create those passing lanes. And that's why he was so good last year. He needs to like be willing to score once he does get to the fingers. I feel like he can get there whenever he wants. He just like forces passes out, and the Pacers are just struggling.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's literally, it's like having a sword, but then never, nobody's gonna be afraid of your sword if you never pull out and shoot or stab. They know he's not going to shoot, so that's why, like you said, people are figuring it out as they go. All right,
yes.
next.
All right. The Brooklyn Nets. Value playoff, like playoff games, and they keep their veterans or they go into a fire sale.
See, I'm actually with the complete opposite view of you, and I'm gonna say I think they're just gonna stay mediocre. I don't think they're gonna, like, I understand they've done so much stuff beforehand that clearly shows they're gonna just get rid of everybody. But with the way the East is playing out and people are being injured and bad, like, they could surprise someone by just being in the play-ins. If they get further than that's to be seen. But I think they, as of right now, it looks like they're just gonna risk it. They're gonna say one more time, we'll run it back one more time.
Okay. So me personally, I think they went out of the way to trade back for their pick. I fully expect Cam Thomas is a question mark, but I fully expect Dennis Schroeder and Cam Johnson at the very least, and to be moved by the deadline, probably sooner. All right, and then the last team out east, have the Atlanta Hawks finally found a way forward, or should the Atlanta Hawks completely tear down their team?
No, I don't know what it is, but they figured something. I think Trae Young has started to believe in his team, because he's coming out with double doubles almost every night at this point. And I think the young pieces that they've drafted and that they've gotten have just turned out really well for them. If I'm gonna be honest, I think they're gonna keep trying, because I don't see, at this point where they are now, I don't see them being that disappointed with Trae Young, because Trae Young's out there, like, literally running the whole show, and they're picking up some wins. They're not bad. They're only, it's still so early on, but they're only 2 games, like a couple games behind fourth. They just gotta, I think they'll figure it out. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're gonna keep going. So I'm gonna go. They're gonna keep trying to reach the playoffs, and I think they're gonna try one more time.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they finally found a way. If I understand, it was never about duplicating Trae Young's skill set. It was more so complementing it.
Yeah.
And this is the first year that Trae Young has seen some looks off the ball, and it's allowing players like Dyson Daniels and Jalen Johnson to be able to self-create more and get looks. Richardson has been really good as a young rookie for Atlanta. DeAndre Hunter looks like he's finally finding a stable role. Clay Capella has been the solid center you expect him to be. Yeah, I think Atlanta finally found a way forward. I believe they keep Trae Young for the long term. They're just looking for one more piece to take him to the next level.
Yeah, which I'll be honest, it's kind of hard, because I don't know. I think their team is good. I don't. You know what? Question then, real quick. What's the piece? If Fantasy Road, what piece would you give Atlanta Hawks right now to make him the next level, to bring him to top 4, top 3?
Okay, so your look. I believe Dyson Daniels. It's the wing. It's whatever the next guy on the wing that becomes unhappy in his current situation.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was like a Laurie Marketing that you could put next to Clay Capella, next to Jalen Johnson, and so you allow Dyson. I don't want them to break up the Dyson Daniels Trae Young backcourt. I think it's working flawlessly. Dyson Daniels is able to clean up a lot of the defensive mistakes Trae Young makes due to his size.
Okay.
And I just think it's whenever that wing becomes available.
So you're saying they need
whether it's a guy like Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
If Miami if Atlanta figures out a way to be able to bring him in,
Mm-hmm.
whoever that is.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, that's fair.
All right, out west.
Okay.
Do you buy or sell the Houston Rockets stock?
Oh, dude. At this point, I think they at least come out top six.
Okay.
Dude, it's so hard to want to buy stock for them. I will say no. I'll say it confidently. I think for sure they're at least gonna be like top 10 planes. They're making it to the playoffs,
Well,
bro. It's just because I look at the other teams, bro. It's like
duh.
nah. But I think they're top 6. I think they don't even get into the planes if they keep
Yeah,
playing the way they're playing.
I was not gonna let you get away with top 10. Hell no.
Man, I like Dallas. All right.
They're 14-6. I was not letting you get away with a top 10 answer.
Yeah, I think they're not gonna they're gonna be in the playoffs, not have to go through the play-ins.
Okay, that was crazy. Okay, so that leads to my next question. Luka Doncic has not had a great start to this year as well. Do you are the Dallas Mavericks for real, or are they going to be another middle of the pack team?
The Klay Thompson the thing that they did, obviously we knew was going to be a struggle because he's kind of getting to the point where he's past his prime. Luka, I mean, I feel like I still have faith in them no matter what, because it's just Luka can turn it on, turn it off at any point in the night. Like, yes, you're saying he's like struggling, he's still leading the team in points, in assists, in steals. Like, there's only so much one person can do. He's out here with 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, like like 3 turnovers per game. He's doing everything he can. I honestly more believe that it's just he needed to let his body rest. I think he's been struggling with injuries, and we've seen it. He wants to play. He never wants to rest. If there's a potential of injury, or if he's gotten bruised up, beaten up, I think he's gonna actually come back better after the injury that he's going through. I think he's still out, and I think he'll be better because he'll finally be rested. I don't think he rested in free agency. I think, or not free, like during the off season. I think he'll come back more with the mental state of being better. But he's still leading the team in a lot of places. So I'm still buying in with the Dallas. I still think they can figure stuff out, because they have all the pieces. They've gone to the finals. It was not a freak accident, Like Kyrie and Luka, they're, as I've heard so many times, they're probably the best backcourt we've seen ever. Now the problem is we just need to get the other people to turn on. We got Klay Thompson to at least turn back the time more often than once every 20 games against the Golden State Warriors,
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think Luka, I have a lot of respect for Luka's game. However, he hasn't been efficient. I expect his efficiency to turn around. I expect him to be a great offensive player, as he always is. But again, this year, the lack of attention to detail defensively, the effort defensively, there's just too many times where it's just a hole defensively, and it's what cost him last year in the finals. I don't see why it's going to change anytime soon. You can only expect it to turn around so many times, and it never does. Luka's just not a good defender. He's a bad defender. It is what it is at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with how small the Dallas Mavericks are, starting Kyrie, Luka, and Klay Thompson, the Dallas Mavericks are just not going to be a good enough defensive team. I think they're going to be middle of the pack and be out in around the first or second round of the playoffs, year in, year out, until something changes. All right. We have a few more. So then 3 more to be exact.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you can choose only one. Between the Sacramento Kings and the Minnesota Timberwolves, which team turns it around?
Fuck me. Both those teams are kind of ass. Dude. I have more faith in. Oh man, I hate that this is actually me struggling. I'm gonna go with the Sacramento Kings because they
Okay,
are
I agree. Okay,
usually the
I
play-in
agree.
type. Yeah.
Yeah, I think DeMar DeRozan injury really halted what the Kings were doing.
Yeah.
I expect Keegan Murray eventually to turn it around, and Malik Monk returns. Their offense will take a tick upwards, and just for more, a little bit more time with getting together with DeMar, Famir, Fami, Fami. Once they get a groove on Rick playing together, I believe defensively they'll be a little bit better as well. I have more faith in the Sacramento Kings. I have there. I just don't see how the Minnesota Timberwolves turn it around. McDaniels has not been great offensively. The fit just doesn't seem to be there. Uh, DiVincenzo, DiVincenzo has been okay, but I just don't think the fit's in Minnesota. I believe more in the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Agreed.
All right, two more. Are Does Kawhi Leonard come back and propel the Los Angeles Clippers to be a threat, or do the Clippers fall apart as the season moves forward?
I don't think it'll be as big of a boost as people think it's gonna be. I think it's just gonna make him a little bit better defensively. Obviously with a little bit of offense, but I mean, as of right now, they're dead in the middle, which where we had him, so far we're completely off. We're surprised they're actually winning games. They were on a win streak, I think. They had been winning what one. I mean, not on a win streak, but they're winning games. Who thought the old man the old beard could do it? But he's doing it. But and I'm gonna
James
be
Harden is the system. You are correct.
yeah. That's the thing. He's the system. It worked. It works everywhere he goes. If in Kawhi, the thing is, no matter what, Kawhi plays less than 20 games, 30 games, bro. He's not playing a lot. He's retiring at some point sooner or later, dude. It's sad to say, but if the injuries are really costing him this much, it's just like I don't think he's gonna be that much of an injection boost to the Clippers as everybody thinks it's gonna be. He's obviously gonna bring stuff because he's an all-star. He can play at the all-star level, but it's the same way as Joel Embiid right now, where it's like you can bring it for one game, but I know the next 4 games you're out, so you're not helping much. So I think they're gonna stay middle pack if the way they're playing stays the same. The season has been crazy. It's been injuries, and with the injuries, a lot of teams have been able to kind of like pick their wins. They've been able to just miraculously sneak through. So I got him. I got him at this point. I think they could still make the play-ins. I think they're middle pack. I don't think they're gonna make it far at all. Or it's either gonna be middle pack or they're gonna be right out of the play-ins on 11th.
Okay, so listen, I really I want to believe in this team.
Nah.
This team's a lot of fun. They flying around defensively. I'm watching Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell play amazing basketball. James Harden and Zubac, that pick and roll has been devastating. I want to believe so bad in this Clippers team. If Kawhi, listen, if Kawhi could just be 70 to 80% of what Kawhi can be, this Clippers team can be a very annoying prick to in the playoffs and win a lot of regular season games. I just need a little bit. I just need 80% of Kawhi Leonard. And offensively, it's just gonna make the world of a difference. Kawhi Leonard's still a really good defender when he's able to be out there. And Ty Lue's still a fantastic coach. Especially with how these teams are struggling around them, I believe the Clippers can finish in the 5, 6, 7 round and be. I don't want to say all fours to make a run at a championship because I think the teams above are better, but a really tough out, I will say.
Okay. All right.
And then to wrap this up, one more team out east. Can LaMelo Ball be the best player on a championship team?
Oh, that's a rough one.
Because I'll answer this one first. I watched the Charlotte Hornets play. I really like what I see out of Brandon Miller. Offensively, I like what I see out of LaMelo Ball. However, it's the same deal. Defensively, the attention to detail is not there. It seems like he can get beat because he has the size and the athleticism to be a good defender. He's just not that, and it's really bothersome watching the Hornets. And I've seen him get benched to close games because he's not there defensively.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the message
Yeah.
their head coach Lee's putting out, but I don't know. It just seems like he's not serious. Maybe it's his play style. He just seems like he's just running the same offense he ran at Chino Hill, and it's really the whole. I don't know.
I will say I don't think he has the same problem like that you have like that Luca has, where it's like great offensively. You got basketball is offense defense. It's never just one side. You can never play it successfully with one side. As of right now, I don't think LaMelo will lead this team to the playoffs because first of all, can't stay healthy. You can't blame him, but
Yeah.
he can't. He's out 2 weeks with a calf strain. I'm reading right now, and it's like you're saying. Even with him playing well, he's playing phenomenal. Also, like everybody's like he's back. He's playing like he was playing in the first year. But even with that, they're barely scratching the surface. They've only got 6 wins. So I think he'd be better as like the second option, or just they need somebody else.
I think
I don't know.
I think the Hornets are like desperate need for a veteran, like
Yeah,
not just like an old veteran, but a veteran that's still like a really good player that LaMelo Ball will look to and be like, okay, I have to get my stuff together defensively and an effort wise. Because when Orlando plays Charlotte, I'm watching LaMelo do this one leg step back running three, but and then he's giving up a wide open three on the other end, gets beat back door. All of a sudden, Orlando's on a 9-0 run and Charlotte lost the game.
Yeah, it's getting rough, but I don't think he can do it. I think that they're gonna need to add another piece just to, like you said, show LaMelo the way that it can be and how he could reach the next level that everybody can see he can get to. But he needs to add the effort. He needs to put in the effort into the game that we love and hopefully it'll reward him back. But
yep. Well, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching the quarter one review. We'll be back at the midpoint to see if anything we said stuck or if we were wrong. New predictions, but that will come a little bit later. Any last words?
Nah. I hope you know what? I hope the curse season's over. I want to see healthy. I want to see good basketball, bro. No more injury. Like hopefully there's no more freak injuries. I just want to see some high tier basketball and because this is probably one of the best times to be a basketball fans because any team can be a contender from 1 to 10. 11 to 15, y'all have issues, but 1 through 10, that's competition from the get-go. So I think that'll be all from us.
All right, see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.